All right, let's jump right in. I want you to imagine a future that's completely turned on its head, but not because of some sci-fi fantasy. No, this future hinges on just two breakthroughs, just two simple goals. So, what are they? Let's get into it.
So it really all boils down to this one question. Forget about all the complex theories for a minute. What if just two simple metrics, literally just two numbers, could trigger a chain reaction that changes everything? I know, it sounds almost too simple, right? But the ripple effects, man, they could completely redefine our cities, our economy, and yeah, how you and I live our daily lives.
Okay, so let's get down to it. What are these two ambitious goals that could kick off this whole world-changing scenario? We're not talking about just a small improvement here. This is a complete paradigm shift, and the first piece of the puzzle is all about manufacturing speed. Okay, so metric number one is production speed. I want you to picture this, a factory floor just pumping out one fully autonomous vehicle, a Cybercab, every 10 seconds. Think about that. That's 6 every minute, 360 an hour, over 8,600 in a single day. The sheer scale is it's staggering. And that kind of speed is what would let you build out a massive global fleet incredibly fast.
Now take that incredible production speed and pair it with metric number two, an operating cost of just 20 cents per mile. 20 cents! That makes autonomous travel radically cheaper than owning your own car. I mean, think about it. It's cheaper than gas, cheaper than insurance, cheaper than maintenance. Heck, it's even cheaper than most public transport. Suddenly, getting around becomes affordable and accessible for pretty much everyone. And this is the crucial point, right? When you put those two things together, mass production on a scale we've never seen before, combined with a cost that just completely blows the old system out of the water, you don't just get a new product, you get a revolution. These two keys, they unlock a door to a completely different way of life.
So, what's the first major domino to fall in this new reality? Well, it's a huge one. A fundamental shift away from ownership and towards service. The whole idea of owning your own car, that cornerstone of the last century, it just starts to fade away, and it gets replaced by something way, way more efficient.
And this really shows you the core of that shift. You've got the old way on one side, personal car ownership, with all the payments, the insurance, the hassles. And on the other side, the new way, a seamless transport service you just call up on an app whenever you need it. It's like transportation becomes a utility, as simple as turning on a faucet.
Yeah, the analysis we're looking at is super direct about this. The argument is that in this kind of future, people just won't own cars anymore. And really, why would you, when you've got a cheaper, more convenient service ready to go at your fingertips 24/7? It just doesn't make sense to own one.
Okay, let's bring this home for a second. Think about your own money. Seriously. What would you do with all that extra cash every single month if you had no car payment, no insurance bill, no gas to buy, and no more surprise repair bills that just wreck your budget? This isn't just about how you get from A to B. It's a complete game changer for your personal finances.
But the ripple effects, they don't just stop with your wallet. Not even close. When you fundamentally change how millions and millions of people move around and spend their money, you start to reshape the entire economic landscape. And that creates some incredible new opportunities, but also some really serious challenges.
Think about it. With millions of people now spending time as passengers in these cybercabs, a brand new, incredibly valuable asset just appears out of thin air. That in-car screen. It basically becomes a prime advertising platform, a moving billboard with a totally captive audience. And that could create a whole new revenue stream that might make the cost of a ride even cheaper.
And this disruption goes way beyond just advertising. A fleet of cheap, autonomous vehicles would completely upend the food delivery industry, it would totally transform logistics and shipping, but, and this is a big but, it would also pose an existential threat to traditional transportation sectors. We're talking millions of jobs in trucking, taxi services, and delivery services that would be directly impacted. What we're really talking about here is industry reshaping. This isn't just about one company getting ahead. No, this is about the very foundations of multiple huge economic sectors being torn down and completely rebuilt from scratch. And that kind of change, well, it creates unbelievable efficiency for sure, but it also creates massive societal disruption that we would absolutely have to figure out how to deal with.
So where does this all lead? When you tie all these different threads together, you start to see a vision of the future that's, well, it's coherent, it's logical, and honestly, it's pretty radical. It's a future where everything is connected and we would all be facing these consequences together.
And the logic here is actually pretty straightforward. It's a clear sequence of events. First, you hit those two breakthrough metrics, crazy fast production and super low cost. That directly leads to step 2, where society shifts from owning cars to just using a service. And that massive shift, well, that's what triggers step 3, the widespread reshaping of pretty much the entire economy.
So the big takeaway here is this. This whole Cybercab future isn't just about cool robo-taxis. It's way bigger than that. It represents a fundamental change in our relationship with getting around, with our cities, and with our economy. It really affects how we live, where we can work, and just how we move through the world every single day.
And that really leaves us with one final, crucial question that I want you to think about. If a future like this actually happens, if transportation becomes just another cheap, on-demand utility like water or electricity, how would your personal day-to-day life really truly change?